Hello folks, listen, simply need to welcome you a report on what's the deal with the demise of Stephen Jerk Chief on the off chance that you all don't be aware. Obviously you know contort tragically the pioneers himself from this world on December 13th, and there are such countless inquiries remaining. You all, it seems as though we have a portion of the solutions to those inquiries, yet it makes every one of the more inquiries. Listen, we should discuss what we know. There was a self-destruction note. We will discuss what was in the self-destruction note. We're likewise going to discuss how his granddad is saying this doesn't check out in light of the fact that he had conversing with him, and furthermore the final words to the granddad, and furthermore we will really hear a first count, a direct record of the individual that found the body, yet why they imagine that the shot there was no notice, that everyone said they couldn't hear or they didn't hear a gunfire. Okay, we should get into this, there's a ton to unload yet. People, how about we simply concur? One reason that this has frightened so many is on the grounds that so many of us felt like we knew them. It was like a parasocial relationship on the off chance that yet how about we get into these reports and we will let you know how this all plays in. Okay, so they're saying Stephen Jerk manager left no less than one sign regarding what his battles were driving, doing a self-destruction, and it arrived in a note suggesting difficulties he's looked in the past. Presently I've seen a ton of reports online that he languished over a bipolar. He was on a 5,150 hold. I'll come clean with you, know me, I research, I haven't had the option to affirm any of that, right? However this note suggests difficulties he looked in the past. Currently get this, policing let us know which is no left at the location of a self-destruction was a questionable reference to his past difficulties. It's hazy what he was alluding to in the note presently. Let me simply say this, right, we don't have the foggiest idea about the specific words that were in the self-destruction note. The granddad discusses what was in the note to him yet, and we will discuss that in a moment. Yet I will say we are the overall population, and it's a parasocial relationship since it's muddled what he was insinuating, whether it was psychological well-being, whether it was monetary, whether there was other pressure that we're continuing on the grounds that it's suggesting us doesn't mean individuals that he really composed the self-destruction note. That doesn't imply that they don't know precisely exact thing he wasn't talking what he was referring to. So do you see me? Questionable and hazy what is insinuating us, yet I'm certain to his family, who I expected he was composing a note to, they knew precisely exact thing he was discussing. Now get this, they said, we're informed specialists had decided Jerk brought a Uber from his back home to the inn under a pretty far from his home Monday morning. Now this reality is fascinating on the grounds that it was first thought that he strolled from his home to the spot, since two things: one, his vehicle was in the carport the entire time, and two, that it was just 15 minutes from his home. So individuals including examiners felt that he had strolled anyway, and again this his reason for death is as not set in stone as a self-destruction, yet it's simply one more fascinating layer that he really took a Uber. So it was a 15-minute walk, so he took a Uber, so it was essentially similar to a 5-moment Uber ride or 6-moment Uber ride. However, at that point, again realizing LA traffic, it could have been a 15-moment Uber ride, yet he took a Uber. Yet get this, likewise many individuals are asking why no one consider them, why his significant other, one or the other. They're saying that the specialists are let TMZ know that he changed his telephone to offline mode so nobody could reach or track him. Nobody could reach, drawing them. Now TMZ did break the story that Allison was wild-eyed when she appeared in a LAPD area Tuesday. That was on the 13th, the day his body was found, saying Jerk ventured out from home without notice and wasn't noting her. Considers okay, it's essential to realize. Allison likewise said that they had no issues, which prompted many individuals hypothesizing like, stand by, so you and your significant other weren't contending you all had no issues? He went out of the blue. There's 3 little kids on Monday, right during the day you went out, 3 little youngsters, you just vanished. She didn't have the foggiest idea where you were. There's 3 little youngsters, even the 3 little youngsters, they didn't request daddy as they fell asleep. You look outside your vehicles left in the carport. It was only after the exceptionally following day that she, around at muddled time, she raced to a police headquarters. It might have been early morning, might have been not. I will peruse and check whether we get the specific time. However, you went into a police headquarters frenzied, not so much as 911, since you realized something was off with your significant other, on the grounds that it was so unusual for the vehicle to be in the carport. Now I would like to say this, right, the one thing it seems like, gee, at the one thing we may be missing missing, and again they don't owe us whatever. Allison might have been away with the children. She might have been going through the night at a companion's home with the children. We're expecting that Allison and the children were home. She might have in a real sense appeared early that day, right? And afterward like, jerk, where's your vehicle? His vehicle's here, however he's not home. Call them. Telephone went to voice message, and on the grounds that she knows her significant other, she went crazy and was like, this is not normal for you, and she hurried to the police headquarters. I'm simply putting elective hypotheses, in light of the fact that again the police are administering this as a self-destruction. Yet we should get into what the granddad needs to say, since I think this is very truly significant. The granddad is saying that his expression that he was still will be as yet not certain that his grandson's passing was a self-destruction. However, LAPD affirmed that it was a self-caused discharge wound that killed him. The granddad saying that he doesn't completely accept that he doesn't know it was a self-destruction, right? And we should likewise not fail to remember that Jokes praised his wedding commemoration with his significant other 3 days prior to shooting himself in the head. Yet there's more, and the granddad in a real sense says that he doesn't know it was a self-destruction, since he said the jerk informed him before his passing saying, I love you, father, right? And he did that 4 days before his demise. Eddie's supervisor, he's 84, expressed that there were no indications of stress in the weeks or months paving the way to his passing. He said, we talked as of late as Saturday time, and again so he went out on Monday, right? Tuesday. That is the point at which his body was found, yet he had addressed his granddad father on Saturday on different occasions. His granddad proceeds to say that he was an exceptionally modest liberal individual. He brought light into everyone's lives. We're totally crushed right now. Well then, he was only a wonderful individual that contributed such a great amount to this world and to everybody he met in a positive manner. We will miss him profoundly and we're harming colossally. There's Eddie, who made a trip from Arizona to be with the family. The granddad is in LA right currently, is encouraging others to pay special attention to advance notice signs in their friends and family. He said each word has meaning. His final words, again basic text that says, I love you, father. He said, our question is the reason. Where did this come from? Obviously the granddad is shattered, and he continues to repeat that there were no signs that the artist was upset long before. Stop now. I truly do likewise need to say a ton of you folks were in the remarks and simply individuals via web-based entertainment, since individuals think they understand what wretchedness resembles and individuals think sadness are individuals crying constantly and next to themselves, and that could be what certain individuals' downturn resembles. However, they likewise say that individuals think they know what when individuals are prepared to erase themselves seems to be, and periodically individuals are outwardly forward-looking, behaving like everything's ordinary. In the meantime, there is a conflict seething in their heart, in their psyche. Certain individuals even portray the manner in which they hear voices saying, you're useless, no one needs you here, how about you simply end it? Like there's such countless ways that it shows so, on the grounds that it doesn't show, generally assuming that no one's at any point had these kind of considerations. Since it doesn't show the manner in which you think it is customarily, doesn't imply that they weren't there, and I feel that is a portion of the disarray the granddad could be feeling. Yet I would rather not rebate the manner in which the granddad feels. In the event that he feels like something's not including, then he realizes them better. Again, he was tracked down dead in a room at the Oak Tree Inn in Law, which was a 15-minute stroll from his law home. However, yet he decided to take a Uber. Again, the coroner's office saying there were no indications of treachery. Strangely, Ellen played recognition for him, and Ellen, she's been having a seriously insane. Again, Ellen's not the focal point of this, but rather you. Seconds ago you need to go to Jerk's burial service, and before that Haish likewise kicked the bucket. Caught in a searing blast for 45 minutes prior to dying in the emergency clinic. We should just really get to this. How about we get to what the individual that was on the observer is saying? Gracious, this is simply weighty. So once more, a mate found a jerk's body while playing out a government assistant's look at after he tumbled to mine time, so he didn't look at on time. And I never knew that is what they called it. Well, for checks, how when you should look at 11 and it's 11:15 and the telephone rings and you get the telephone like, welcome. Gracious, definitely. Goodness, is it currently 11? Okay, no doubt I'll be gone in like 20 minutes. In the meantime, your bag is all around the spot and you just came out the shower. Yet evidently one reason why they bring you again and again to check whether you get is that expected to be a government assistance check, on the grounds that clearly a ton of times these things really do occur in lodgings.